Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So in today's video I thought I'd go ahead and take a look back at the Toyota Hypercar, the GR010. Obviously this was once upon a time the kind of go-to and king of Sardegna. Those days are long gone, but I haven't gone back and actually checked it out since the latest physics update. So I thought I'd go ahead and just make a brand new 800 PP build to see how this car holds up. And I'm happy to report it's still very, very good. Maybe not as strong as it once was, but overall pretty solid. So let's get into the build. This is how I changed it up. It's still a racing hard compound car. In terms of body height, this hasn't changed ever since I think the first original build. So 70 and 75, 5 for anti-roll bar, 25 for compression, 40 for expansion, natural frequency is 4.00, negative camber angle at the front is 1.0 with a 1.5 rear, toe angle at the front again 0.10 outwards, and at the rear 0.05 outwards. Then if we move on to the fully customizable differential, as you can see, it's going to be 5 and 5 for the torque. Sensitivity is 20 front and 30 rear, with the braking sensitivity being 5 for both. Then just up here, as you can see, normal transmission, nothing changing. Ballast is going to be 3, which is a lot less than previously. 71 on the power restrictor, 98 now on the output adjustment, so it's a lot quicker in terms of straight line. 700 at the front on downforce and 1200 at the rear. No turbocharger and nothing else needs changing. So overall a fairly straightforward sheet, but let's talk about how this car feels after the latest physics update. So obviously everything kind of got changed around, PP ratings got changed, and this car fell well under the 800 point kind of, I guess, barrier, whatever we want to call it. Originally this was pretty much sat at 800. Once upon a time this was insanely powerful at Sardegna once kind of the Tomahawk glitch, you know, faded away from existence the first time. This car sort of took the reins as the go-to for many, mainly due to its fuel consumption and ease of driving. It was always a zero stop car. The main kind of downside was kind of controlling that hybrid power output, and yeah, it's even worse than it was previously. It does seem to run out a lot earlier. I've tried multiple different ways of trying to get it to stop running itself down, but it does seem to fade away about lap 11 now. But overall it's still a very easy car to drive, very beginner friendly, and certainly one that anyone can realistically jump in and have a nice easy time at Sardegna with. So let's get into the event itself. So if you don't know, you're going to head into Europe for this one, head down to the road track and then go ahead and enter the far right event. So jump into that one, the World Touring Car 800. In terms of strategy, the first thing you're going to want to do with this car is put it at fuel mix 3. Now the reason I say 3 instead of the likes of 6, the fuel consumption on this car is very good, and to be quite honest, power saving in fuel mix 3 with the right kind of changing of gears, so very short shifting and such, will save as much fuel as fuel mix 6 anyway, so there's no real reason to absolutely nerf even more power from this car. Obviously we've already taken power away from the standard version to be able to run it here, and there's no need to make it even worse on yourself. So fuel mix 3 is definitely the way to go. In terms of short shifting, I fully recommend just as you see the red bar go up to shift. This was kind of always the strategy originally, and it still works now. Now the only downside, like I did mention, is the fact that the hybrid seems to absolutely wear itself out much quicker. Now kind of before and kind of when this car was in its prime, the worst you'd actually get in terms of running out and running down that hybrid power unit was actually around about lap 13 to lap 14, and that's if you was pushing far too much than you realistically should be and forgetting to do your trail braking and all that kind of stuff. Now lap 11 seems to be when I'm running out pretty consistently. Around about lap 10 is when it almost gets to empty. So yeah, it does seem to wear off a lot quicker than it did originally. The racing hard tyres are still absolutely fantastic. You should absolutely feel zero issues with the tyres, so they should be good to go all the way to the end without any real kind of drop off point. Again, another upside of this car is it's insanely kind on its tyres, and the hard compound tyres obviously last the longest. So yeah, no real downsides in terms of that. So let's have a look a little bit later on in the race. We took the lead around about lap 4. Now this is rather quite slow. In terms of difficulty, I do recommend keeping it on about normal. Again, if you kind of go on easy like me, like a muppet, to be quite honest, you will just spend far too much time in traffic. It really does kill your lap time. So I recommend normal or hard difficulty for these runs. Now on to lap 6. This is where you're going to get most of the cars pitting. Again, we're obviously not going to pit, but it's just good to know when the other cars are going to pit. If you're on the high difficulties and maybe you're not the most confident player in the world, realistically, this is when you're going to expect them to really drop off from the back of your car. Obviously, because we're not pitting, we're going to be able to kind of build up that gap constantly throughout the race, as some of the cars will pit more than once. Now, when you do get in traffic, this is what I mean. This is why I fully recommend putting it on one of those high difficulties, mainly because the traffic is just an absolute nightmare. They are insanely slow through some of the corners. They don't realistically give way over blue flags, so you'll go to lap them, and they'll maybe decide last minute to kind of move over and absolutely clatter you, so just be careful. So taking a quick look at lap 10 here, as you can see, I actually turned the engine up. Do not do this, keep it at fuel mix free, because that was just a bad mistake on my part. It really used a lot more fuel than I should have done. Again, like I said, lap 11 I've kept it turned up, but it was just drinking far too much fuel, and the hybrid unit just absolutely wore itself out on lap 11. So at this point, no matter realistically what kind of fuel mix you're in, whether you're in 3, whether you're in 1, it is going to start depleting rather quite quickly. But again, just try not to put the car in fuel mix 1, maybe put it at 2 at most in the later stages of the race, or else you might end up doing this. As you can see, we've got 0.1 laps of fuel left, straight over to 0, and it's actually going to conk out as we go across the line. So yeah, just kind of keep it at 3, 2 maximum maybe in the last couple of laps. So first place, nice and easy, 24 minutes 35 seconds, 0.728, and that is on a pretty laid back run. I really wasn't kind of, you know, taking it too hard or really kind of putting the laps in. We've got a fastest lap of 135.897 on lap 6, so again, not too bad in terms of its 1 lap pace. It's not the most powerful anymore. It used to be a lot quicker back in the day, but it's still a very usable method even after the physics update. So as you can see, it's going to be 727,500 for around about 24 minutes of your time, even less if you manage to, you know, start getting used to the car and really do trail brake enough. So there we have it. The Toyota Hypercar is still a very usable money method, certainly one that you can get into the very low 24s, maybe even into the 23s on a very good run. Again, just keep the AI turned up a little bit so you don't run into as much traffic, unlike me. Completely forgot to change it. But overall, yeah, this is still a very usable method. The Toyota Hypercar coming in very, very strong, and obviously a lot of us should have one for free if you took part in the TGR Cup that's been going on within Gran Turismo 7. I got mine when the previous update dropped. So that's going to be it from me. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and motorsport related content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. I'll have a big money glitch tomorrow. I don't want to kind of give away too much, but be sure to tune in at 4 PM BST for that one, and I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic day, guys. Enjoy Le Mans when it comes on. Peace.